Hey guys, welcome back to math class. Last time I tried to record this video, all of the fire alarms in the house went off. So fingers crossed we get through this lesson. All right, so we're starting our geometry unit, and the first stop is going to be circles. So take a second, find something in your house, find something around you, trace a circle, freehand-it if you want. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle, but first thing we're going to do is label this circle. So the parts of the circle, the big ones, we have diameter, and diameter is the length from one side. Well, first, let's say this is center. So diameter is the length from one side of the circle through the center to the other side of the circle. That is diameter. Diameter goes all the way across the circle from one side straight through to the other side. The other length that we're going to look at is radius, which starts at the center and stretches to the edge of the circle. And this is called radius. The relationship between radius and diameter is that radius is half of the diameter. So radius is the length from center to the edge. So from the center to the edge. And radius does not have to be right here. Radius could be here, or here, or here, or here. It doesn't matter as long as it starts at the center and stretches to the outside. Diameter is the distance or length from edge to edge. Let's say edge through center to opposite edge. So it has to start at the edge, go through the center, and end at the other side. Radius is half of the diameter. Half of diameter. So if you know the diameter, radius is half of that. So if radius is 5, what's the diameter? 10. If diameter is 14, how much is the radius? 7. So that part's easy. Now the lesson is circumference. And circumference is the perimeter of a circle. So when we have a polygon, we call it perimeter. So around a rectangle, around a square, around a triangle, we call those perimeter. When we want to know the distance around a circle, we call that circumference. So circumference is the distance around the circle. So circumference is distance or length around circle. Now, sometimes it's not going to be so obvious and say, what's the circumference? You might have a situation where you're finding the distance around something. So like if you're walking around a circle, if a bike tire is rotating, your car, when you drive a car, speed is measured by the circumference and how many times the wheel or the axle is rotating. So if it's rotating once or twice every however many seconds, that helps calculate speed. So now, there's a very important number that we are going to talk about, and that number is pi. P-I. Pi. Pi is represented with 2 lines and a squiggly on top. that is pi. For all intents and purposes in 7th grade, we are going to use 3.14 as pi in all of our formulas. 3.14. You can also use 22 over 7, but we try to shy away from that. So let's bump this down and look at some examples. All right. So if I have a circle, oh wait, hang on. The two formulas. This is important. So circumference, when you know the radius, is 2 times pi times r, and r represents radius. When you know the diameter, you're going to use c equals pi times d. D stands for diameter. So 2 times the radius. So double radius is the same as diameter. So these are the same formulas, but just different circumstances. So if I told you that the diameter of a circle was, let's say, 32. If the diameter is 32, I'm going to take pi. Pi is 3.14. First, I'm going to write the formula. So C equals pi times D. Pi is 3.14. And how much is the diameter here? 32. And all you have to do here is multiply a decimal times 32. So this is going to need some practice for some of y'all. 3.14 times 32. You do not have to line up the decimals when you multiply. 4 times 2 is 8. 2 and 6. I'm going to let you finish this out. All right, so the circumference here comes out to 100.48. That is the distance around the circle one time. Now on this other example, what if I told you that the radius is, let's find another example. Radius is 6. Nope, don't want to do that one. Just did that one. Radius is 5. And the radius is 5. So step 1, I'm going to write the formula. C equals 2, pi r, because they told me radius. So I'm going to use radius. 2 times pi times r. So 2, what do I use for pi? 3.14. And what do I put for radius? 5. Now, when I solve these, I like to do the easy multiplication first. And since you can multiply in whatever order you want to, I like to do 2 times 5 first, because those are two whole numbers. 2 times 5 is 10. And then 10 times 3.14. I'll let you work that one out. 31.4. So the circumference for this one is 31.4. Now, what happens if they ask you for multiple rotations? So I'm going to go back up to my circle. If I needed to go around this circle 3 times, that would be circumference once, twice, 3 times. So you need to watch out for words like rotation, trim, fence. What are some other things that might use circumference? I've always thought border. There's one question one year where there's ribbon and someone's putting ribbon around the circumference of a park for some celebration. So if you want to put ribbon or string, all of those are keywords to tell you I'm looking for circumference. The big one that you're going to see might throw you off is rotation, and that's rotation. And then you want to count how many times it's rotating. All right, let's try this one more example. Let's squeeze in one more example that's a little bit different. What if I told you that the circumference, what if I told you the circumference was 63 and I wanted the diameter? So if the circumference is 63 and it's asking for the diameter, I'm going to use equations to work backwards. So which formula uses diameter? Left or right? This one uses diameter. So I can plug in what I know and work backwards to solve that equation. So the circumference is 63. So I'm going to write this. Sorry, I'm squeezing this in here. C equals pi times d. So that's the formula I'm going to use. I know the circumference is 63. Do I know pi? Yes, pi is 3.14. Do I know the diameter? No, I do not. That is my unknown. How do you solve this one-step equation right there? 63 equals 3.14 times d. How do you solve that? You divide by 3.14. So you need to be able to multiply and divide by decimals. All right, so 63 divided by 3.14 is equal to, I already know the answer. It's 20.06. 20.06. So this is the diameter. Sorry, this is like really scrunched, but I know you only have a page. All right, so this is circumference working forwards, working backwards. It's a lot of multiplying, but hang in there. You can do it. Write it down. It's not supposed to be like mental math. You're going to need pencil and paper. Write this down. I will see you guys next time.